Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is absolutely wonderful to see all of your bright faces here today. As the wonderful Sarah mentioned, my name is Tristan Duhan. I would like to start this out with a pseudo-theater lesson. In life, sometimes the best thing to do is just say yes. That is the mantra of improv theater. Let's say you're doing an acting scene, a little improv, and your partner has some dialogue like this. Tom, I love trees. I'm so glad we're lumberjacks. And his partner Dan replies, I'm not a lumberjack, I hate trees. That puts a little wrench in the scene. There's nowhere to go from Dan's no. If Dan had instead replied, yes, and the lumberjack plaid and denim look is so very comfortable, the scene can continue. Because Dan said yes and instead of no. The same can be said for life. If you have the opportunities, take them. Seize the time. Live now. Make now always the most precious time. Now will never come again. If anyone didn't recognize that quote, it was from Captain Picard in Star Trek in the episode The Inner Light, or the Picard's Flute episode. I hope that resonates with at least a couple of you out there. If not, I'll show my mom the recording and she'll get a kick out of it. Safe to say, there are plenty of things to do at Alfred. People just have to say yes and seize the time. To tell you a little bit more about myself, I'm from a smallish town about an hour southwest of here called Salamanca, New York. Anyone from there or anywhere relatively around there? Okay. Anyway, besides the issues of any small town, Salamanca is mostly great. At least the most important part for kids 3 to 18 and their parents, which if you guessed the school, you'd be right. My school was crucial to my development as a person. And that fact, which is school was crucial into my development as a person, is what I am trying to say about Alfred and tie in. Now, I don't want this to be a pure sunshine and rainbows talk about AU because it is not all sunshine and rainbows. In fact, it snows here a decent amount. For some of you, you might think snow, big whoop, this is nothing. And some of your experiences of snow might come exclusively from hit Christmas movies like Elf and the Hoth Battle from Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back. Which I've got my R2-D2 socks on. I just had to throw them in. Thank you. I know Empire isn't technically a Christmas movie, so I guess I'll throw in the Grinch if you don't count Star Wars. I am here for the simple fact, for one of the simple facts, that Alfred's main color is purple. I applied to 20 schools, got into most of them, visited one, Alfred. And decided on AU mostly because my favorite color is purple. I also like the Minnesota Vikings, so being at AU with all my Vikings merch, it fits in well here. However, that's not to say I didn't think about this decision a lot, though my mother might say I didn't, but the uncertainty did not go away well into my first year. Not because of anything negative here at Alfred, but simply because it's a new experience and it takes some adjustment. But that adjustment does happen. And it's different for everyone. For me, it was finding my group of people and my groove as a college student. That started with my freshman year roommate. That first year, and especially the first few days, it was weird. Sharing a room, sharing my existence with another human. Side note, I'm an only child and raised solely by my mother with some help from a wonderful gram. And safe to say, it was a bit of a learning curve. Between having different living styles, sleeping and morning routines, and more, it was not easy. But like most things, it just took time. Now, that's not to say we were great roommates. In fact, we were not exactly close. But my roommate and I, now that we're not roomies, we're much better friends. My current roommate, however, we have been together for 2 years now, and we get along great. And him and I, along with 3 other friends, are getting an apartment together next year as well. To bring it back a little bit, I'm a theater major. I hope that was obvious. And I've been involved with shows here every semester, from lead roles in shows to helping out behind the scenes. I've always been there at AU. But even if the stage is not for you, there are plenty of things to do around here. There are tons of different clubs, sports, activities within your majors, trips, and more to do. And if you want to start something new, you totally can. There are plenty of new clubs that have popped up in the past few years, including the Poker Club. They've already done a bunch of events, which I appreciate, especially after winning a Nintendo Switch at one of them. Students can also restart clubs like the Drama Club, where we do different scene showcases and are planning other larger events and shows. And yes, that was a shameless plug, of course. I'm also part of several other great clubs on campus. WALF, the radio station, which hosts a bunch of live music events, AUTV, which does everything related to film and television, where we recently did a ghost hunt in one of the oldest buildings on campus, and also the Magic the Gathering Club, which my first-year roommate asked me to join. I'd never played before, but I said yes, even before I took improv class. And now I've been playing for 2 years, and it's been a lot of fun. I can also touch on what it's like to be a college athlete. I'm on the men's tennis team here. And let me tell everyone here, I never would have thought in a million years in high school that I would be playing a sport in college, let alone tennis. I started my freshman year of high school, and it was a lot of fun. Very challenging to learn something you've never done before. Of course, the next year was COVID, and we didn't get a sophomore tennis year, which was unfortunate, but it is what it is. The next 2 years, however, got back to a semblance of normal. And when I got to my senior year, still deciding on colleges, I got an email from the tennis coach at Alfred University. That will go down as one of the most surprising emails of my life. I remember thinking, you want me to do what at college? Me? Safe to say I was a little perplexed. And when we finally started playing, I was surprised I wasn't cut. And today, I'm still surprised I'm there. That's not to say I haven't gotten better. I would kick the living daylights out of first practice me. I've even gotten to go to Hilton Head, South Carolina for a week with the team my freshman year, and we're going again in a few short weeks. Oh, that trip is one of my favorite memories from AU so far, and I cannot wait to go again. Good thing I said yes to being on the tennis team. I'd like to conclude this by talking a little bit about my family. Family is very important to me. I don't have a big family, just my mother, grandmother, grandfather, and step-grandmother. So I cherish them, and I hold them dear to my heart. And though I might not call them as much as I should, there isn't a day that goes by where I don't miss them. And I want to leave you off with that fact. The fact that no matter where your kids are, how far away they might be, they will always be thinking of you, calling you up asking how to boil noodles or help filing their taxes, or some other thing they've forgotten or unsure of, because you are their parents and guardians. And you did one heck of a job getting them here. Now they just have to start learning how to do it themselves. And 2.5 years in, I'm still calling my mom at work during lunch rush. So don't worry. Too much. They will find their place here. They'll find 1 or 2 things, or like me, a dozen different things. They'll be fine. I promise. And so will you. Thank you, everybody.